Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Housewife of Story, and you can call me Lindsay. And today we are going to be talking The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It made TMZ headlines when Apollo, who was Real Housewives of Atlanta, Phaedra Parks' ex-husband, who did 8 years in the federal penitentiary, which ultimately was the demise of their relationship and the cause of their divorce. Anyways, his name is Apollo. He got out of prison a couple of years ago. And I've been keeping tabs on him. We saw him for a few minutes also last year on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was doing a little bit of digging, a little bit of clicking, a little bit of liking here and there, and I came across some things that were interesting. And I thought that you guys would probably want to know what I saw that has me thinking he's going to be coming on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and he's going to be bringing his new boo thing that he just married. Okay. I don't know if it was a shotgun wedding. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I only have what I found. And I think that you guys are going to come to the same conclusion that I have. And if you don't, or even if you do, make sure you comment and let me know what those thoughts are. But first, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. I told you guys yesterday in a video, I've been sick, I've been down with the flu. I tried to put myself together, but it just wasn't gonna work out. So sorry that you guys don't have any video with the audio today, guys, but just over here struggling, okay? All right, let's get into this. So recently, first of all, let's talk about the fact that last year on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we saw Apollo and Peter Thomas. Now, when Apollo came home from prison, we saw him around Peter Thomas on Instagram, and it looked like he was hanging out at Bar One, and then they did a couple of events together. They were promoting it, and then Nene started coming around, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, they were featured in one episode on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I pointed this out several times, but people I don't think were always picking up what I'm putting down, but maybe you guys will now. When Peter Thomas appeared in that episode, he came up and said hello to Kenya. He like came up real quick and hugged her. He had sunglasses on. It was like definitely an evening event, like it was a black tuxedo type event. It was nighttime. It was clearly nighttime. He had sunglasses on, and he just did like a quick hug, hi, and then turned around and went the other way. And when he did that, Kenya said, she goes, he's has a mother effer right now. And I was like, that is a weird thing to say, Kenya. Like, that's a weird thing to say, Kenya. Why, hi? What do you mean? Like, you meant drunk, or what did you really mean? So I just always, that comment always sort of stuck with me since last year. But fast forward to present day, TMZ releases these headlines, and I actually saw it on DJ Richie Scott had posted something because the Jazimine Brand, as of yesterday, was alleging that the Real Housewives of Atlanta ex-housewife Phaedra Parks would be joining the Married to Medicine cast because she's dating a doctor, right? So, okay, that sounds good. People were like, yes, I would love to see Dr. Heavenly and Phaedra go at it, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so then, right, next day, all of a sudden, I see all these headlines that Apollo got married, right? Now, these photos, it didn't look like it was like a planned wedding exactly. I mean, I'm hopefully I can insert the photos for you guys, maybe in the community section, since the way that I'm pre-recording this, I can't insert them. It would take a really long time to upload and do that. So I will just add those photos to the community page so that you guys can go right now and click over to the community tab. on my YouTube channel, and there will be the most recent posts. I will post them in there for you guys so that you can take a look at them while you're listening to this video. So go ahead, community tab, check out the photos of Apollo's wedding. It doesn't give me a we planned for this vibe, okay? I just didn't get that vibe. Maybe that's just me. It also did not seem like uh, I don't even know what the word is. I guess I went on to his Instagram and I started doing a little hunting, a little clicking, a little digging, a little here, a little there. And he hadn't really posted of her except for one time. I think at the end of, I don't even know if it was the end of 2021. But, anyways, it wasn't like it they weren't putting anything out on social media really. There was one photo of her, and he says in the comments something about making or something about her being a superstar or making her a superstar, something superstar. And that like made me kind of tilt my head sideways because I was like, that's weird, right? And so I looked at like the videos that he had recently posted. He didn't have anything recent. The most recent thing he had was from Christmas time, and he was at some like influencer's house who must be a big time influencer, like a millionaire. He's like a million followers or something. And it was just like a guy's type of hangout, and they just seemed to be chattering, but nothing like, hey, my man, I'm getting married in less than a month. Do you want to come to my wedding? Like, I don't know. It just didn't give me that vibe. And the photos that were released to TMZ, well, I don't think they were released. They were probably more likely sold to TMZ because I'm sure that, if they wanted the headline, they would pay a little bit of money for the photos. And I'm sure Apollo's always looking to make a dollar. I don't think it has not been easy on him coming home from prison and trying to get reestablished. Regardless, he is a felon and he has that working against him. And anyone that has felonies working against him understands that employment is difficult sometimes. That doesn't mean it's impossible. That doesn't mean that people don't succeed. That doesn't mean that there aren't felons that hold important, high paying jobs, places. It just means that it is like having a mark against you, if you will. And he's been to prison twice, so that's going to give him 2 marks. And he's, a little bit older these days. That's going to give him a mark. He was on a national television show. They either like it or hate it. You never know, right? And then you also have to think about the fact that, men in these types of situations, um, he's been in prison for 8 years. And even though he has been told when to eat, sleep, and brush his teeth, it's still like more of a routine versus like an authority, I feel like. So I think it's difficult sometimes to come home from a situation where you're in a very, very, very strict routine to not a strict routine. And then also dealing with, these people sometimes after being, incarcerated for close to a decade, they lose a lot of their social skills. They have to learn to maneuver and operate as if they were inside a prison. And prison is definitely an entirely different community and society than what is outside of the walls. So it's basically like living in an entire different, I don't even want to say civilization, but definitely a different society. Anyways, so I find the girlfriend on his page. And like I said, guys, there's no videos, there's no pictures, there's no kissy, huggy, lovey. Will you marry me? Here's your ring. Nothing. Nothing. It's crickets. Okay? It's crickets. I don't even think he announced the wedding on there. Okay. Anyways, so fast forward. I'm searching and I go to her page and I'm searching, and this is why, guys, I'm convinced that he's going to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They are filming right now as we speak. Right now, they are filming. We've seen them filming out with Kenya and with Candy, some of the new ladies, Sheree. I think they saw Marlo. So the ladies of Atlanta are filming 1,000%. And guess what? There was a post that she posted that said, looking for a retail storefront in Atlanta as soon as possible. And then she posted it again and she corrected Atlanta and put a suburb, which I don't have in front of me at this very moment, but I will try to find it and put it in the community tab for you guys. So that tells me that I'm just saying, if this happens, guys, I kind of am right sometimes. I'm just saying that sometimes I can be right. Okay, you guys, I was right about the whole Kathy Hilton thing, and now all this stuff's coming out about Melissa Gorga, and turns out, well, I've probably been right about that this whole time. So it's not easy. Somebody has to be right, and I guess it's just me. But regardless, um, I think that we might see them on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And maybe they needed a storefront because they're going to be affiliated with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And maybe they producers told them, like, we'll bring you in, we'll give you a little piece of this storyline, but y'all got to have your shit together. Like, I'm not trying to bring you in. Like, maybe they didn't want to feature Apollo as, like, a single dad, even though we don't really know how much his involvement is because we really don't know how close he even lives to Atlanta previously. But it sounds like his queen won storefront in Atlanta, so that means that they're probably going to be living in Atlanta, right? No? So maybe it's going to be like something about him trying to reintegrate back into society and get married and like be a full-time dad to the kids or something. Like maybe Bravo was like, no, we want you to portray like the family man and be like, strong um leader of your household, and we want you to be married. We don't want you to just be, have a live-in girlfriend. We want you to be like married, and if you want to do the show, then you guys got to get married. I'm just saying, there's no other explanation for it unless if she is pregnant and a shotgun wedding. Who knows? That could always be the case, guys. But come on now, 2023. I know there are still some women that get married when they get pregnant. Maybe not because they feel like they are going to be doomed by society, but just because of pressures within their own family or circle, whatever the case may be. But definitely don't think that strong, independent women these days are getting married to men just because they get pregnant. Like, there's so many happy co-parenting situations out there. Sometimes the co-parents' children turn out better than the ones that lived in a household with a mom who, suffered at the hand of her husband just to keep a family. Who knows? But guys, I want to know what your thoughts and comments are on this. Because, like I said, we're getting rumors that Phaedra is joining Married to Medicine, which would make sense. I mean, obviously, Bravo wants to work with her because they brought her in on The Real Housewives of Dubai. I just don't think that Dubai is like a realistic location for her to be working and filming out of a couple of months out of the year, especially with the two boys. It's hard to travel internationally. Anytime, a pandemic, breakout, whatever, you can't leave the country. They got to get all these vaccinations and take all these extra steps. And I don't know, it's just really, Dubai's a really, really far away from home. If it's not your home, just to go there and work for, a couple of months. And they say filming is really more like 6 months out of the year. It just depends on the franchise. But regardless, that's a long time to be in a whole nother country just for work, right? So unless you were like making an offer that you couldn't resist, then I don't know if it would be really super beneficial for Phaedra to join the Real Housewives of Dubai because she can't really give it the time and attention if they're going to be filming in Dubai and she's living in Atlanta. And then what do you guys think? Do you think that Apollo's going to be joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Like, do you think that Bravo's planning on bringing him and his newly married wife into the show and integrate them and give them some sort of a storyline? Maybe they're bringing Peter Thomas in because here's what was so crazy, guys. I thought we would see more of Peter Thomas in Atlanta because obviously that's where the franchise Cynthia was a part of. Um, so I thought that just because of Apollo's connections coming home from the Priz, they wouldn't really, show him a whole lot, but they gave him a whole confessional and people didn't say a thing. They didn't say one word. And I thought that was weird because they basically gave Atlanta time to Apollo with a confessional, and then Peter Thomas filmed for Potomac. And he didn't get a confessional though, but he did get a lot of film time and got the restaurant bar one um, on the show. So I guess that's a success in itself. But anyways, that was the feeling that I kind of got from it. But yeah, so I'm just wondering what you guys think. And do you think that Bravo is working on a show for Apollo and his new boo thing, or do you think that they're making room for them on the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Do you think that they're making room for them to be on Married to Medicine? Like, is it possible that maybe they'll go on Married to Medicine and like be a storyline for Phaedra, with her new boyfriend dealing with her ex and his new wife, and maybe, they'll bring them all on to Married to Medicine. Now, if you're wondering why, of course, we wouldn't hear Phaedra being back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, we've discussed this many of times, and Miss Candy Burrows has a zero tolerance for Phaedra Parks. She doesn't care if she does buy a ticket and come to the Escape Tour show in Atlanta. That don't mean nothing to Candy. She's like, thank you for buying a ticket. Have a great day. That don't mean shit. You still can't come be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta after how dirty you did me. Have a great day. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So, anyways, guys, make sure that you comment, like this video so that it helps my algorithm get out there. And of course, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and have a great day.